Okay, we're live.
Hi everyone, this is JoJo Bennington, and it's Tuesday night, and we are here with Dave MacArthur, our own mechanic to millionaire, who is going to talk with us tonight about our compensation plan and the where our company is now, where it was, and where it's going to, because that's an exciting thing. And really, some of our stories of being able to come into this compensation plan, myself and Dave, neither one of us were network marketing experts, and came in and have been able to create significant income and financial freedom for this. And so we just really want you guys to be able to understand what's available to you, and that this isn't just some special thing that's just for Dave because he's the awesome guy, or me because I have my special skills. This is actually for everybody. So it doesn't matter your education, your background, your social stature, any of that. This is just for anybody who is motivated and ready to get out there and work. And so Dave, thanks so much for putting this together, and we appreciate you being here. And let me turn this phone down. That's ringing, ringing. And I think I'm just going to be quiet and let you roll because this is going to be exciting tonight. So thanks you guys for being on, and thank you, Dave, for putting this together.
You bet. Thank you, JoJo. We're still trying to figure out how to do this thing, right? 10 years later. Um,
All right.
I want you to, any of your input on any of the slides. And in fact, I might ask you, what do you think about some things? So can you be ready for that?
Of course.
Awesome. Okay, thanks. Well, I want to say some things on this slide, but before I get started, um, I need to do the disclaimer. This presentation is for training purposes only and is not meant to represent any fixed or guaranteed incomes. Okay. All right. So these products right there are why I'm here today. They literally have put me on this journey that has just been amazing. And I want to share a little bit of that journey with you and how it all got started just briefly, and then go into the company and the compensation plan. But really, I mean, the shake, the cleanse, and the Ionic Supreme is about all they had when I first got into the company. And as soon as I did that, I had a transformation that woke me up. We like to say Isagenix wakes people up. My mental clarity, my energy, I lost 53 pounds, my mental stamina, my physical stamina. I mean, everything is just like the lights were turned on again. And that I appreciated so much because I was struggling through life. And because of that, it brought me into this environment that I was a little bit resistant to. But because the products work so well, it gave me an experience. And it's something that I've actually dedicated my life to, literally. It has given me more purpose, more passion, more fulfillment, more transformation for myself and for other people than anything that I could even imagine, and anything by far that I had tried previous. I was a mechanic for about 15 years. So I just want to say that we're here today because of these products. And if we were in a big room, I could say, when did you have that experience where your lights turned on? And what does, and meaning that you woke up, better energy, all those things I listed. And for me, it was day 3. And I've done this in front of small groups and big groups. And they say, day 3, day 5, it was day 2, day 1 for me, day 3, day 3, day 2. And Susan Sly, who's a multimillionaire on the world stage, teaching with Jack Canfield now because of this company and what she's, developed herself to. You got Jay Bennett. They had these incredible transformations. JoJo Bennington. All these people, Herb and Patty Cepeda, Hillary Courtney, Dr. C.V. Hessel. But yet every one of their experiences were a little bit different. Yet I think, every one of those that I just mentioned are millionaires in Isagenix. In fact, we're going to talk about the millionaires and how many there are today, but they all have done it their own way, but they've all used the same common tool, these products right here. This is a results-driven business. And when you understand that, anybody can do this because they all did it their own way. I did it my own way, but we had something in common that was essential, these products right here. They transform lives. And then in 2011, this product showed up and really changed my life and my business. So I wanted to share that little foundational piece. So when I got started, here I was a mechanic. I had the life sucked out of me. I didn't want to be alive anymore. I was looking for solutions, and everything I was trying, nothing was working. And, even exercise. So then I get on the products, and that was 25 days later. And my energy by day 3, couldn't believe how good it was. My mental clarity. In fact, by the end of the week, my wife says, yes, I got my husband back, because I was always tired. I was always sleeping and just not engaged because I didn't feel like it physically or mentally. So in 3 days, and then I started exercising and working out again on the products. And that was about 4.5 months from that very first picture. And what was really the transformation? Yeah, the physical one. I'm glad I took the pictures because that built my business. But what happened to me on that mental and spiritual level, and the energy that I got? If I had to take anything back, I would take the weight back in order to maintain how I feel inside. But with this, we don't have to. So I got super excited. That is what launched my business. Now, I'm a little bit slow. Even though I had those results in the first 25 days, I hadn't committed to the business. I loved the products. At this point, I'm never going off of these things. It made me a better mechanic. My attitude, my whole state changed. And I knew it was because of the products, so I was sold. I didn't come into this looking for, oh, well, if this works, then I'll do a business. I had no interest in that. I was already working 14 to 18 hours a day. But through the transition and people getting involved, it started to open up what I obviously saw as a business opportunity for me. So I want to go into the things that I learned that were significant for me in understanding the business, so that I knew that I knew that I knew. Not only did I have great mentors and friends that I was able to work with, and I saw their lifestyle, like Don Nooner, second millionaire in the company. I think Don was like in his 70s when I first met, and he was going to lose his house. He was one payment away from losing his house. And he ended up getting an Isagenix and said, if this doesn't work, I'm going to lose my house, because he put that money towards Isagenix, those products, get on them for him and his wife. He ended up, I think he became the second millionaire in the company, paid off his house, and then bought 9 more homes right here in where I live and paid them all off. Paid off every house. So now he could rent them out, and he has another residual income coming in on top of his Isagenix business. So I saw that. I didn't understand the compensation plan, but I saw that, and I saw his lifestyle. I saw it with George Ruiz. I saw it with Lenny Evans. I saw it with a number of people. Then I went to the event, and I got to see it from a lot broader scope of people who had all of these different amazing backgrounds. Like Susan Sly was very similar to mine. She didn't want to live anymore. But then I saw her on the stage, and I'm like, but why? Look at you. You're like this rock star. But she wasn't in the beginning. Isagenix turned it around. It was the springboard that took her from where she was, like myself, to springing forward and taking advantage of the opportunity that this company provides. Do you want to add anything to that, Jojo? I mean, that's a huge thing to be able to see that, and then also go to the company events and see it on a much bigger scale, realizing, wow, this is much bigger than I thought it was.
No question, events build belief and show you what's possible here. So that's such a great point. And I think that also what it shows is that it shows that there's always a story behind the glory. So, sometimes we just see the money, and we just see the stars, and we just see the people on stage, but that actually gives us an opportunity to really hear that there's pain behind that there's a story. Everyone's got a story, right? So that always shows us that there's something there too. It's not just all the glory.
Yeah, we had one family that we learned about, I think it was last celebration, August last year, military family. They were so in desperate mode that they were buying the damaged packaged food that was expired. That's all they could afford. I think they had like 5 kids. And what are they? Were they one of the millionaires now, or they're making like a multiple 6-figure income? Just that incredible story. So every master was once a disaster, they say, right? you see that when you see that over and over and over again, but then you see them now living the lifestyle they are, it really inspires hope and courage. So here's the company that's creating that, Isagenix. And the growth that we're having right now, unprecedented. Uh, up to date, 45 different awards from the American Business Awards, the Stevie Awards, and they were named Company of the Year uh, in Inc. magazine 9 years in a row. Inc. magazine's fastest growing companies. I had another one on here. I think it's on another slide. We'll see it here in a minute. Direct Selling News, who monitors the industry. Number 22 in the world, we were ranked just this last year. We're only a 13-year-old company, and every other company that's in the top 25, they've been in business on average for 40 years. We've only been in business now, actually, just barely 14 years. So that growth is a clue of something greater, right? Network marketing, building, and this is something that I was just pondering on, and why am I so enthusiastic? And when you have a why that's big enough, you never lose motivation for the what and the how. So why I do this, I've tied that to something that's really big. They say your why should make you cry, like some meaningful things that are going to cause you to get involved, right? And that's grown over the years, because in the beginning it was just being able to like go out to dinner and a movie with my wife. I mean, literally on the same night. That was one of my whys. And then they've grown as we process through this. But the what and the how is the business side, the products, and what are they? How do they work? Give me the science behind them, and then how do I build this business? How do I share it with people? People lose motivation on that if they don't have a big enough why. So if our why is big enough, and so as I've been thinking about the why and how important it is, and that was what we talked about last week, it ties in, my why ties into building a powerful network of people that becomes a strong link in the world, bound and protected and facilitated by a common interest and vision. And having that same vehicle, which is Isagenix, this company which is just literally exploding. It's an unparalleled company. I believe it's a divinely inspired company, and so do the founders. So if you look at the network marketing industry, it's not so much with this younger start group, ages 18 to 35. It's over 35 really that have the bad taste for network marketing, because there was just some distasteful things that were done in network marketing in trying to recruit people. But that's not happening anymore, but it's left a trail of destruction, right? But that trail of destruction is actually fading out. It's phasing out. And we have the start group. We have millionaires and making a 7-figure income annually that are like 26, 27 years old in our company. And that's the fastest growing segment in our company, is that start group, 18 to 35. But I want to show you, for those of us that may, like myself, I didn't want to get involved with network marketing. I was led to believe by other people that were led to believe by other people, that were led to believe by other people that really didn't know. And so that was just handed on to me. And I wasn't really interested in the business side, and I wasn't interested in network marketing before finding this company. So I just want to share with those of you, check this out, because people say, well, it's a pyramid scheme, or you can't make any money, or they come up with things that aren't true, but they sound like they could be true. So check this out. This is from the DSA, Direct Sellers Association. It shows the power of network marketing and the money that is made in the different industries. So you think about the Major League Baseball, huge, right? $7 billion annually. NFL, Sunday night football, Monday night football, $9 billion a year. The music industry, which is like, if I'm going to make it big in life, I'm going to be a rock star, right? $16 billion. Movie industry, entertainment industry, $80 billion. Look at the network marketing industry, $178 billion annually. Network marketing. And this right here, $71 billion, is commissions that have been paid out to associates like me and JoJo, and those of you that are on here that are associates in the company. $71 billion has been paid out. For me personally, I've made over $4 million now, and I'm doing that. I'm making $1 million annually now, just a little over $1 million annually. So take out my little piece of the pie for that year, 71 billion. There's a lot that's being distributed. This was a big like eye opener for me after I'd already made over $1 million in the company. I'd never seen this. I think they just showed it not too long ago. Herb and Patty Cepeda when they presented. That's 200 million a day. Jojo, any thoughts? I mean, that's pretty shocking, isn't it, when you look at the numbers and the facts?
Yes, we are not your grandfather's network marketing company, right? And so when we go back and we look at how the vehicle has changed, no question, it's a viable industry. So when people look at that and downplay what this industry is doing, they really just don't understand it. They really just don't, and the stigma is on it. So when we can show them the power of the fact that, not only has it been proven by the Supreme Court that this is a viable industry, so right, there was actually a Supreme Court case that proved this to be a legal, viable business model. So the numbers show it all.
What was it that was taken to court too when companies started doing their own little it wasn't mom and pop stores, it was chains. When chains started opening up and being introduced to the society, the public, it was taken to court because the big corporations were afraid of it. But so that just tells you how when you go into a new era, something that changes the way we do things, there's always resistance. But it's a better way. It's always a better way. It took them 5 years before people believed that the Wright brothers even got the plane off the ground, before the mass public believed that they did it. It took 5 years. So another thing I was going to say about this, is the common ground. Like the vision is so big. One other thing, the thing that I was going to say, the only reason people are going to have a stigma about network marketing is because they picked up something from somebody that was ignorant and it was just passed on. Like when they used to think the world was flat. One generation passed it on to the next, right? Don't go out that far because it's flat, you'll fall off. So you're going to have a bad taste in your mouth if you believe something from somebody who's ignorant and they're passing on something that's false. Or they had an experience with a company that's not like ours. A company that was dishonest, that was only thinking of themselves, the founders were greedy, and they mistreated their associates. And that does happen, but it happens in the corporate world as well. Look at Enron and the airline industry, where the 401ks were just completely wiped out of people's savings that they had built, 20, 30, 40 years worth of. So that would be the only reason why. The second thing is with this vision and this building this network of people, we're just going out and connecting with people on a common ground. And when you really get the spirit of Isagenix, you're going to find that 99.9% of people have this same common interest that we do. And they want to be a part of something like that. And they want to facilitate that thing in the world. Like a lot of people give the broad generalization of, I want to do good in the world, but their job isn't really fulfilling that. But people say, well, what do you want to do with you? I want to do something good. I want to help people. When they see the spirit of Isagenix and how they support us in doing that, this is exactly what they're looking for. So we just want to connect with people on a common ground to build a powerful network. And we're going to learn what building a powerful network will do for you in freeing up your life. So when in the network marketing industry, about 1,000 new companies start up every year. That's just in the networking industry. Out in there in corporate America and mom and pops, trying to go open that pizza store. I mean, I'm sure they have a lot more than 1,000, but let's go with the numbers here. 90% fell in the first year. And these are companies that we're talking about, not people joining the company and not able to make it. We're talking about the company that started up. And Jojo and I saw this when we first got involved, and we got involved in this networking industry and started doing a lot of expos. There was companies that were there one day and they, pie in the sky promises. 6 months later to a year, they were gone. And we started calling them the companies of the month, right? So, and this is not untypical with traditional businesses as well. A high percentage of them fell, and not this high, but I think it's like 50% fell in the first year, and within 3 years, it probably gets up closer to this percentage. There's that direct selling news, number 22 globally in 2016. So I just want to show you some of the results. Like people say, yeah, you talk about the incomes you're making and you're exaggerating. Networkers will say that about other networkers because they've been in companies where they haven't made money and things like that. and people just lie and exaggerate. So I want to show you this. I put this presentation together a little over a year ago. So I'm going to show you, I think it says at the end how many millionaires there are. But here's the first list. There's Don Nooner, who I was talking about. George Ruiz, who was one of my mentors. There's me and my wife, Carrie. Oh, John Gray from Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus. Rhonda Collier, Udonna Power. She was in the TV hit show Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley. Tammy Hess was in another company for 20 years, never made a multiple six-figure income. She's a millionaire. These are all the millionaires, right? So this is the second page. Going to go on to the third page. Jim Rhodes lives right here in the same town as I do. There's Lenny Evans, a mentor of mine. Now, these newest millionaires at that time they had never done anything in network marketing. Like Kathy Savage, she's in the fitness world. She creates champion and body and fitness competitors and swimsuit or figure competitors that literally get on all of the magazines that we see as we go through the checkout stand. And then here's Emily and Hayden Bavra, who I think when they hit millionaire, they were like 26 years old. So 121 millionaires. So this was like 2014. So this was around August 2014 when they reported this. Now, to date, I just looked at the newest millionaire, 181 millionaires. 181 in just a little over a year's time. So from 121 to 181. And this, I read the story. It was such a beautiful story about this gal that was just feeling so unfulfilled in the corporate world, driving the traffic back and forth every day and just feeling unfulfilled. She got on the products and had an amazing experience, just like I did. Wasn't interested in the business. She knew there was a business with it, but she said, I don't have time to do that. But she had this amazing transformation with her health. And as you go on to read the story, she's becoming more and more disconnected with her job. And she went to an event and got inspired by going to the event. Still didn't make a commitment, went back to her job, and the disconnect and the unfulfillment and feeling like she's not really living up to her purpose just continued to eat away at her. And she finally said, I could do this. I can do this Isagenix business. And pretty awesome. She's not had to work for over a year now since she made that decision. So creating $1 million in, a very short amount of time if she's only not been working for a year since they published this. So we go to the 90% of companies fail. Isagenix is not one of those. We've been in business for 14 years. We're 22 in the world. We're going to hit $4 billion this year. 80% of the companies have hit $100 million. Out of the ones that continue to go on and become successful, only 80 companies ever in the history of network marketing have hit $100 million annually. 50 companies have hit $300 million annually. Now, success leaves clues. Pay very close attention to these next couple of bullet points. 50 companies have ever hit $300 million. Watch the drop. Only 5 companies have hit $300 million and kept growing domestically where they started. So we have what's called a bell curve. They go up, they make some money, and then they disappear because the products aren't long-term. It was built on hype. And so a lot of people buy into that hype, just like when the lottery is at this really super high record level. How many people go out and buy a lottery ticket that have never bought it before? So when you have a lot of hype, you're going to get people to come in very quickly because there's just this frenzy of like hoping to hit the lottery. But then the products don't work. And since network marketing is not a get rich overnight business, it's a real business, and it's not one of those too good to be true things when they're real. And so because they have to keep working it and the products don't work, you lose customers and you lose hope, and then the company disappears. Look at the drop. 45 companies fell off of that and only leaving us 5. We're one of those 5. Only one health and wellness company has hit 500 million and grew 45% annually. That's us. Growing by almost 50% after hitting a 500 million annually mark, that's a clue. What is the clue? The products work and they're sustainable. And the products work so good you can't get the results in the grocery store or at GNC or at Costco, and definitely not at Walmart. And so customers keep buying the product because they want those results. And so we keep growing and we're not losing customers. And we keep growing by that percentage because the results that people are seeing who are watching people on the products. That's how I got started in the business. So as an entrepreneurial minded person, I'm thinking this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer. But I didn't really see that until I looked at the business model. It took me about 6 to 8 weeks. Now, again, we're a results business. We're a results-driven business. And Jojo, I want to give you an opportunity because these numbers right here, I'm trying to force them into people's heads. If they really think about this, if you write these down, ponder on this and think about what that really means, why would you want to be with any other company?
You wouldn't.
Go ahead.
You wouldn't. You know, and for coming from, you know, you owned your own business, I owned my own business, we would have, you know, given blood to get numbers like this out of our business, right? So to be able to be involved with a company that we don't have to put the key in the door every day to make $1. We don't have to be on site and have 1 billion employees. We don't have to do all the things that we did as a brick and mortar business, and we can do all of this with just our computers and our cell phones. It's really an incredible opportunity to be able to have, and then to have the product to back it up. It's just really an unprecedented place to be.
Yeah. And I was on the phone with Kathy Coover the other day. She did a 3-way call for me. And she was talking about we're going to hit our first billion annually. And once you hit your first billion, the second billion's easier, then the third billion. And it just continues to expand and grow like it has throughout the history of the company. So when we hit 2 billion, that's a lot more money being distributed to the associates because the percentage doesn't change. It's pretty awesome when you really think about it. Okay, so go ahead.
I don't know, did she, and I know that I don't know if you have this stat or not about where they're planning for us to be by 2020.
Well, the infrastructure is just huge. I mean, they are so ready. They're ready to be a Nike company. The infrastructure is that strong and that ready to handle that kind of growth. And I know it. You know, there's so many things that I know that's on the inside of that infrastructure, and I've heard it mentioned, but I don't know. It was like, I don't know, was it 5 billion a year by 2020?
Look at how long, you know, with the breakdown of how long it took us to make our first billion, and then, you know, we
13 years
shortened that by our second billion, right? Now we're at 4 billion accumulative. This will be our first $1 billion sale year, but by 2020 they're looking at us to be a $3 billion a year company. So if you look at that short amount of time, we're going to be tripling over the next couple of years from 1 billion to 3 billion. Are you in the right place at the right time?
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
So you're getting some information that other people have turned the company down. They haven't seen this stuff. It's like you try and tell them in a conversation when you meet somebody or you get on a phone call, and they just don't get enough information to make a real educated decision that has their best interest at heart. And so they say no. But I mean, when you look at these numbers, why would you say no? Why would you not want to be on a winning team? So this is an application that I put together, and just what I want to explain here is that the commissions are paid out based on product being moved, right? And every product has a point value associated with it. So what we do is, as we start to build our network of people in our group that's all linked to us, everybody that comes in after you, no matter who shares it through that domino effect of word of mouth, you're going to get paid on everybody's volume equally. So if somebody 5,000 people down buys a bottle of product B, you're going to get 54 points in your bank to go towards your commission, even though they're 5,000 people down and you don't even know who they are and that they were enrolled in your group. Okay. So as we go through the rest of this, you need to have that as a foundational understanding. Okay. Now, here I was struggling, working literally 14 to 18 hours a day. I wasn't even living in a nice house. I was living in a house in need of repairs. It was way too small. I was driving a Honda Civic that had 300,000 miles on it. I mean, it was just crazy. Throwing newspapers every morning. And what happened for us in getting involved with the company in 9 months? Well, and what am I? Yeah, I wanted to ask this question. I just added this today. What am I looking to change in my life at this point? I mean, just looking at these pictures, here I am sitting with my kids in the kitchen. Does it look like I got the life sucked out of me? I mean, I'm not in a scenario where my boss just chewed me out. I'm at home in like what should be my favorite, most loving environment. And look at how I look. The same way I looked walking out of my business where I was fixing cars. Okay? So what am I looking to change in my life at this particular moment? I just ask you that question. And can you relate that to yourself? What was I looking for? I was looking for a way out. Before the paper route, I didn't have a way out, right? So I chose the paper route as my way out. That was my mentality, my intelligence that I knew for getting out of this scenario right here. Get a paper route, Dave. That'll take care of everything. And it sucked more of the life out of me. We're going to teach you some things right now that will give you some brain cells to make some better decisions to literally break free and get off of this hamster wheel. Are you ready? And so I jumped into that system. I jumped into the principles of it. Oh, and I just got to tell you what I was looking for. I literally wrote down in a book. This was during this time right here. I wrote in a book that I created my dreams that I hoped would pull me out of this. That was in 2005, in April 2005. It says it right there on the book, 2005. I wrote down the dreams and the hopes that I would hope would be different than the life I'm living now. And I wrote them all out. Well, guess what? Isagenix showed up in August of 2005. And by 9 months after that, we moved into our dream home. 5,000 square foot home, brand new. All of our kids got their own room, a theater room, my own office. We're throughout the years as we built this organization, we go on vacations whenever we want. Carrie, my wife, and I, we've been to Europe 3 times, Cancun. Here's earning the $2 million pin. Driving the cars that we love to drive and want to drive and appreciate when we drive them. Just a better quality of life. I mean, look at the difference. So let's go in and share the principles that cause this. You have to know these things so that it inspires you and motivates you when times get hard. Because this is a business, and every business requires you to overcome challenges. So have you ever seen the penny doubled for 30 days? Because our compensation plan manifests the penny doubled for 30 days perfectly. It manifests it perfectly. So you have day 1, and we're going to double that penny the next day. So now you have 2 pennies. And then you're going to double those 2 pennies the next day. They call this geometric progression. And some people call it the 8th wonder of the world because of what happens. It's mind-boggling. And if you'll do it with a calculator on your own, when you get off of this, or write it out on a sheet so that you connect with it, you see the magic that happens. But I'm going to run us through this. So there's the first penny. If I offered you $3 million right now, I'll give you $3 million, or I'll offer you a penny doubled for 30 days. Which would you take? And most people, what's that, Jojo?
I would take the penny.
Yeah, right? Because, well, you would, because you know the principles. You'll never go back. But most people would take the $3 million right now because they don't understand this principle. But if you do understand this principle and you don't understand the Isagenix compensation plan, then you haven't had any sleepless nights yet. Because when you relate what I'm about to show you to the Isagenix compensation plan, because it is relatable, you can't sleep. You start to realize I'm going to be rich because we have the products that are doing what they're doing. So the next day you have 2 pennies. The next day after that, 4. Then 8. Then 16. So it's not like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's geometrically progressing by the power of 2. 32, 64, By the time you get to day 10, you have $5.12. Do you want to take the penny double for 30 days, or do you want to take the 3 million right now? Here it is in a briefcase. Go do what you want with it. Day 15, $163. Day 20, we're at $5,000, just over $5,000. So if you took the penny double today and you didn't know what was going to happen, do you want the 3 million right now? Because I'll let you change your mind, because we only have 10 days left. In fact, at only 5 days left, we have 167,000. And I got 3 million right here. 167,000 is like nothing compared to 3 million. But here's where you really, it's been happening the whole way through, where this geometric progression is happening, but it's not really as dramatic until you see it in the bigger numbers, but it is just as dramatic, and you got to understand that. In these smaller numbers, it's just as profound. But let's see how dramatic it is for these last 5 days. 300,000, 600,000, 1.3 million, 2.6 million, 5.3 million, and what if it was one of the months that had 31 days in it? You'd be at 10,600,000. 10 million. That's the power of this geometric progression. You know, and banks and credit cards use this when they do compounding interest. And that's why they're very wealthy. That's why they could afford the huge banks, the buildings. So here's our company. Our company, and the way they put together the compensation plan, utilizes this profound effect, this principle. They say when you sign up, if you sign up 2 people, and that's all you need to sign up to start getting paid on everybody, if you sign up 2 people, no matter how long it takes you, who will use a minimal amount of products, and I'll show you how much that is on a monthly basis, you'll get paid on everybody. So when I saw the comp plan and understood it, I said, I'm going to be wealthy. There's no question, because I'd already been on the products for like 6 to 8 weeks. And I was like transformed. And so were a few other people that I shared the products with without doing the business. And so I realized I could sign them up. I signed up my wife and my brother-in-law. And then I signed up people from work, people from church. And so you see the compound effect. But what if it wasn't me? This is what you want to do. You sign up 2 people and you teach them to sign up 2 people. Now we just did the same thing. We went from 1 to 2 to 4. 1 to 2 to 4. So if they're going to pay us on everybody, and I'm effectively teaching people the principles and helping them to see what they have, by the time you got to the 12th level, before you finished the 13th level, you'd be making $54,000 a month with everybody ordering the minimal amount. So you're getting paid on all these people. So if you added all these people up, 4,000, 2,000, 1,000, 500, that's how many people would be in your group. It was J. Paul Getty who said, I would rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. And I agree with him, because I was doing 100%. I was doing more than 100%, because we would say 100% would be a normal work week, 40 hours. I was doubling that plus by myself. And I was killing myself, and I was still living in that condition, right? You know, a car with 300,000 miles, a home that was broken down and too small. We moved into we moved into a brand new dream home within 9 months, because I was getting a percentage of more than 100 people's efforts. And that geometrically progressed has no roof on it. I had a roof on how much income I could make. I maxed out my hours that I could work. This goes beyond that, way beyond that, because there are other people who are out sharing the products, building their own business, but Isagenix pays us on all of them. We collect BV. We would collect BV way down here. You would see it go right up into your bank with 5 million people, because it all goes into your bank, okay? If 90% of them quit, you'd still be making $6,000 a month, which is 3 times more than what I was making as a mechanic. I'd make about $2,000 a month, maybe $2,400, $2,500 a month as a mechanic. And I could fail 90% of the time. That's how we hit a 7-figure annually. That's how we got in the 7-figure club. That plaque right there, if you can see it, it's hanging on the wall right behind me. to remind me that that's what I want to help other people do. The 7-figure club. And the stage was loaded with them. The 7-figure annual club. So here's what happens. This is how we create freedom. Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he says, rich people build networks. Poor people look for work. And I like to change poor to broke. It has like a different connotation to me. And it also helps me to realize they're working a broken system. They're working a broken financial system. Like how many millionaires has Walmart created out of their stockers, their cashiers, and people who are collecting the carts? How many millionaires have they made out of them? And Walmart has way more people working for them. They've created 0 millionaires. It's a broken system. But rich people build networks because they understand the principles of the power of leverage. But poor people don't understand that, so they keep getting another job, looking for a better job, but they're really doing the same thing. They're living under the same principles, even though they changed to a different job. But rich people have come to this understanding that this is how you do it. You build a network. Now, what did I say in the beginning? We're building a network by connecting with people on a common ground. A common ground of help, support, financial freedom, living your best life, and having the vehicle to do it. A common vehicle, common ground. So here's what happens. In the beginning, because if we go to the 1, 2, 4, 8, they don't pay us a huge, like upfront amount of money because we don't charge people an upfront a lot of money when they sign up. Run away from companies that do that, that say, oh yeah, we're going to get rich, but it's going to cost you $5,000 to get started. Well, that's because the company is going to pay the person who just sold you on it a big commission. We don't do that. We pay you a very small percentage on people when they order products. It's about 6%. But they're going to pay you on everybody that comes in, no matter who tells them. So it's like you got to think, you got to understand that. That's an important principle to understand. The longer you're in, so watch what happens here. You're going to spend a lot of time, and a few people are going to sign up. They're going to say yes. Some of them are going to stay on the products. Some of them are going to have awesome results. And so you're going to make a little bit of money. The green down here is the money you're going to make. So you're spending way more time. And so people quit because they spent maybe 15 hours a week and they only made like $200 for the month. But that's success. They were starting to build their network. They created a common ground with some, they were building a network with common people on it, with common interest. And so, but they only made $200 for all that effort. What they don't realize is what's about to happen. You keep telling the story, you keep talking to people, and you start making more income, because what happens with the geometric progression of the numbers is the same thing that's manifesting in your business in Isagenix, because it's manifesting perfectly the power of 2. So you keep telling the story, you keep sharing with people, and you make more income. And that income is passive. It just keeps coming in because people keep ordering the products because they're committed to them. You talk to enough people that you got a percentage of them to say yes. A big enough percentage of them said yes, so that you have another percentage of people who say yes to the business. And you have enough of people who said yes to the business that you have another percentage of those who say, I'm doing this no matter what it takes. And that takes time to build a network like that. It takes education. It takes consistency. You just have to know this. Persistence and consistency eventually wins. So Kathy Cooper says, you got to come in expecting 5 years. 5 years and you should be making a multiple 6-figure income. You could be making anywhere from $100,000 a year up within 5 years. Susan Sly, when she came in, she said, I'm going to give it 7 years. Because she understood the principle. I'm going to give this business 7 years. And if it doesn't work by then I'll know that this isn't for me. And a lot of people come in right here and they give it 6 months. Some people not even that much time. Jojo, you want to add anything there? That's powerful. Because and what happens at the end is it goes into critical mass because you've effectively created leaders who have effectively created leaders who have effectively created leaders. And now it doesn't matter if you show up to work or not because that BV is still coming in because of who they're bringing in. Jojo?
The foundation is so important. That's the key piece of the puzzle. And we work so hard in the beginning. Right? You spend so much time. And that builds your base, that builds your foundation, and as the money goes up, so does the time freedom go up. It's the only job where that happens, right?
Yeah, I got in an accident, right, recently. I can't leave. I've been bed rest for 6 weeks. I still should be in bed, but I'm feeling better a little bit too soon. But I'm still in a wheelchair. I can't put any weight on my leg. So it'll be 7 weeks on Thursday. I have not traveled. I have not done any business. I've done things like this to support the team, and I've done a few calls here and there. My business has grown while I've been stuck in bed. So that 7-figure income that I make plus has grown while I've been here doing, I can't show up for work. Powerful. Don Nooner, still in the top 100 after having an unfortunate accident where he slipped and went into a coma. He's been in that for over a year now. He's still in the top 100 income earners.
Well, when you look at
over 2 years.
And for us, it allowed us to leave for 2 months, go away for Vinny to have neck surgery, stay somewhere else, have a great doctor, and do all of the things that we would have never been able to do had we been punching a time clock. And it's not only the financial freedom, but the time freedom just to be able to do that and still make money while that was going on. It's a huge benefit that people just don't know exists. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know it was there. And so now that I really realize what that means to be working for my own dreams instead of someone else's, and being able to make my own rules. And now with the financial freedom, typically when you get a raise, your time freedom goes away because you get a raise and now you have to spend more time, and you get a raise and now you have to spend more time, and you get a raise and now you have to spend more time, and pretty soon you have no time left. You might be making more money, but your time freedom totally goes away. And so it's just the opposite here, where as you make more money, your time freedom goes up. Yeah. And it's really the only thing that I've ever seen where that happens.
And think about the products, because how profound is that you just said that? Think about the products. The more I'm consistent with the products, the more energy I have, the better my health. Where people who need more energy, what do they turn to? Coffee, Starbucks, Monster energy drinks, Red Bulls, sugar in a Snickers bar, and their health is deteriorating. We actually create health and energy through our products. And it's just like the compensation plan. So you're either doing this or you're doing it for somebody else, period. You're either doing this or you're doing it for somebody else. And while I was right here in the beginning, I still had to work my job. That wasn't enough money to pay my bills. Couldn't quit my job, so I did it in the pockets of my free time. Jim Rohn says 10 to 15 hours a day. And he says what you're doing in that 10 to 15 hours a day is you're building your part-time fortune while you're working your full-time job. But as you continue to work consistently your part-time fortune, it will eventually pass up your full-time job. So you can be working part-time, but eventually you'll pass up your full-time income. And then you can decide if you want to quit or not. Powerful principles here. You're either doing this yourself or you're doing it for somebody else. Okay, so I want to finish up here. I'm going to go into just the very basics, all you need to know to get started in the business. You want to get to consultant. That's the first thing. You need to be ordering 100 in BV. That stands for business volume. PV stands for personal volume. It's just an evaluation, or it's just a system to say how much product is being ordered by you and people in your downline, because your website monitors all the volume, and it tells you how much volume you have in your right team and your left team in real time. So if somebody orders within a minute, you're going to see their BV in that bank. So just know that the BV is being monitored. You don't even need to know that. What you need to know is I need to have people joining my business. I need to build a network. I need to connect with people on a common interest. So I want to go out and share it with people, and I want to get them signed up in my group. And I want to teach them how to do the same thing. Well, our company says once you've done it with 2 people, we'll pay you on everybody. We'll pay you on everybody. So how are you going to get them in there? Well, go sign up some more people and teach them how to do that. So that adds to your group. There's more BV that's going to be ordered. More products are going to be ordered by those people, and nobody has inventory. It's all shipped directly from the company to the new associate. There's no inventory. So I show these 2 bottles of product B. That's enough for 2 people for a month. That's a qualified order. You have to order 100 BV every 30 days. That keeps you active. And you have to sign up personally 2 people who will do the same thing. From there, start building your network. It just creates more BV, more BV, more BV. And then you start to really benefit from that principle of leverage and compounding interest and geometric growth and passive residual income, because the products are highly consumable. It's not like an automobile that you're going to buy maybe every 5-7 years. They're going to order this every month, and they're not going to order it in our company because they want to do the business. They're going to order it because they love the products. I figured it out the other day, about 800 BV for me and my family every month. 800 BV. I don't even have to do that. Why do I do it? Because I can't get the results from products in the store like those are giving me. Forbes magazine says that network marketing on the front page is a source to be reckoned with. They're recognizing it, like the numbers we showed you. Paul Zane Pilzer, Nobel Prize winning economist, says network marketing is going to become $1 trillion industry. It's going to create more millionaires out of ordinary, poor to middle class individuals. You guys, that's it. I mean, hopefully you understand the principles and the power of our compensation plan. Now, there's more details to go into about the compensation plan, but what I told you will automatically produce the results that have been produced for me and JoJo. Just getting the people in your group. And the person who got you here will show you how to log into your website, how to enroll somebody, and start building that business. The work shows you how to do it. So we have all kinds of tools. There's videos. You ask people, you want to read something, watch something, listen to something, talk to somebody, go to a meeting, all kinds of ways for people to get the information to help them make the decision. And then you have the person who enrolled you, who knows somebody who they can introduce you to be a one-on-one mentor for you, because they want to see you become successful so that it builds their network as well, because you're in their organization. You could be 5,000 people down. We don't care. It's the same. So JoJo, last thoughts and any questions?
I was thinking, because for those of you guys that don't know, my husband was a union electrician before we retired him from that. And he made $40 an hour as a union electrician. This last week, we made $41 an hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we worked like maybe 5 hours last week, right? So,
love it.
Do you guys get that? We made $41 an hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Round the clock, every hour, we made $41 an hour.
What's your biggest month, JoJo?
My biggest month?
Yeah.
Or my biggest week? Our biggest month was 36,000.
Wow.
So we went from, and what's interesting is when you talk about building the foundation, our first year, really my first 7 months in, when because I came in, and really started working the business, and only had about 7 months of the year to accumulate, we made $3,900. And then we made like $15,600. Then we made like $25,000. Then we made like $35,000, and the following year we dipped down and made 28. So I hit a six-figure income, you know, really like my sixth year in. So when you look at that, um, and comparable in the compensation plan, this company's been amazing because what it's done is continue to add bonuses and put money on the front end of this compensation plan that didn't exist when you and I first came in. So what they've done is created an exciting new animal that didn't exist when we were first here. So the opportunity, you know, we see people moving so quick now because of that. It's just amazing. So it's all out there. You just,
we weren't even, Jojo, we weren't even broken into healthy aging, energy and performance, what's weight loss, healthy weight loss. We didn't even have those like things to offer people. It was all just,
oh my gosh, we had a 9-day. We had a 9-day. We all started on a 9-day because that's all we had. We didn't have a video. We didn't have anything. We didn't have tools. We had, you know, we had a website that was not what it is now, you know, and no excuses for us because we still went out there and did it with what we have. But oh my gosh, you guys, with what you have now, it's amazing. It's amazing.
You were literally right on track with what Kathy Coover said. 5 years, you should be at a six-figure income. And then you exploded from there, though, right? Then the next year, it just like, bam, and then the next bam. Yeah.
We doubled, and then we doubled again. And yeah, it's we're right on the heels of the next rank announcement. So we're excited to see that next one coming. So
this isn't about us leaders tooting our own horn, you guys, and trying to impress you. Who could do this? Anybody.
Anybody. Everybody.
Yeah. Well, did anybody have any questions? And let me just say one other thing. I've been with the company now for over 10 years. I'm going to make $1 million this year, whether anybody joins the team by me or not, right? So I'm losing my voice. My throat hurts right now because I'm so excited and want you guys to get this. That's the passion. That's the vision. That's the common ground. That's the power behind building the network. There are people who are coming in who are just as excited and enthusiastic as I am because they caught the vision and how powerful and strong that chain can be in a ripple effect in the world. So a lot of people say, I want to do good in the world. That's just a broad generalization. Let's really break it down to what you could do. And so here I am 10 years into this, more enthusiastic when I caught the vision back when I was getting started, trying to get out of financial burdens. That's a clue. So it's us really wanting you to do this because it causes a ripple effect. I don't want to see on the news anymore, you know, all of the problems that are out there. I want to see the news they run out of work because they're not reporting any bad news anymore. That's what I want, and that's what I see. And we're doing that, and we're doing it on a certain percentage and scale. It's getting bigger. And so, you guys, again, that's a clue. Why are we doing this? For you.
Heather, I know that you have a question up of do you mean 10 to 15 hours a week or 10 to 15 hours a day? And I'm not sure at what point that question popped up, so I'm not sure what we were talking about. Could you be more specific and we'll be able to answer that? And then, Paul, do you have something that you want to ask, or I see you've got your hand raised. Are you just raising your hand because you're going to be the next millionaire?
You guys hand up. Who wants to be the next millionaire?
So let us know what you mean by that.
Marianne, yeah, that's the question box. Sorry, Jojo.
Yeah, I answered some of those and they're all gone. So will you be explaining how the left leg, right leg works?
Not here.
In webinar?
There's a lot of video. Go to isamovie.com, ISAMOVIE. Watch Kathy Coover do it. I mean, it's just all right there. So much better media and visual effects, and it's all right there. She'll explain it just like I would. We may do that on another webinar, but I didn't want to get into that tonight. Just
right.
It would take.
So Heather wants to know. She said you said 10 to 15 hours a day, but probably what you meant was 10 to 15 hours a week if you put that into your business.
Yes, not a day.
Right.
That would have put me over more hours than there are in the day with my job. Okay, you guys, thank you for joining us. This is recorded. We'll get it on YouTube, put the link up. And if you don't know where that link is, just get with somebody who got you here, and they'll help. They'll just work their way up until they get to me, either me or JoJo or somebody who knows where the link is. We usually put it on one of the team Facebook websites.
And Jed, I see your question there. I think that as far as Dave's situation with his broken legs, that would be a great conversation for you guys to have one-on-one. Would you just shoot him a message and ask him those questions so he can answer them?
Yeah, shoot me on Facebook. Shoot a message.
Yeah, awesome. And I think um, I get the idea of building the network, but what other ways to do that besides Facebook?
Oh,
Wow, Jill, that's a great question. You know what? When Dave and I first started, I watched him chase people down on their bicycles. He told everybody he was so excited about his weight loss. He wanted everybody to know. He would see people walking down the street. He talked to literally everybody. We used to go business to business and drop off brochures. We did booths. I can't even tell you how many expo
we
booths.
went into the fish store, right, where they sell fish, like living fish, and we took in stuff there and talked to people that were working.
Because everybody needs health, right? So it didn't matter who it was. And so we actually, going business to business, we did great doing that. We would stop in chiropractors' offices and did yogurt shops. It didn't matter who we talked to because people are people. We would do expo booths at the gun show, at a craft show. It didn't matter where it was. We got out there and got in the way of people. And so however we could get that done, and that was before Facebook was a big deal. So, it was great for us because it taught us the one-on-one skills.
And the best place is right in your own smartphone. How many people are listed in your Rolodex in your phone? Just say, hey, I found something exciting. I want you to watch this video, see if you get excited about it like I did. But I would also recommend going back to last week's presentation that we posted, that if you go to Mechanic to Millionaire channel in YouTube, so you go to YouTube, you go to the search bar, go to Mechanic to Millionaire, you'll see last week's presentation on your why. When your why is big enough, you can't be denied. The what and the how takes care of itself. And I give an example of that Raphael asked me to give about the swimming pool. So I would recommend going and listening to that and really connecting the why. I say, as soon as you understand this, the why is the next most important thing before you build your business or while you're building your business. So JoJo, I don't want to take the recording too long.
Okay.
Here, or is there anybody else?
Jill just wanted to know if it was important to have results first. And, I would say to that it's great to have your own story, but we have so many thousands and thousands of stories that you can borrow from until you have your own. And as you're sharing those, you're building your own. And around here, it doesn't take long to have a story. So I would just recommend that you either go onto ISA FYI or go into the ISA accountability Facebook page and just really start to understand the stories that are here. There's so many of them out there you can borrow and use for your own.
Yeah, and also an example, Hillary Courtney saw the business model. She's total entrepreneurial, total red, totally driven. She came in for the business, didn't even have a product experience, like a transformation. She's been in about 10 years now, and she is like at her high school weight within the last year, and she's in the top 15 income earners in the company, and she got her story about 9 years into building her business. She's made millions. So, and who is she talking to? She's going to go out and talk to people who are going to look at this as a business and build a network. And people are getting results, yes, because they're going to go out and successfully bring customers in who are going to be walking billboards. They worked it from that angle. But I say, what's going to dictate whether you talk about the business or the product? The person you talk to. What do they want to know about? What's the solutions they need? And where are you going to go to do that? Nobody had to tell me where to go. My why was big enough that if the opportunities weren't there, I went out and created my own opportunities because I just broke through my fears. There was nothing that scared me because my why was big enough. So with that, let's stop there, Jojo, and thank you guys. We'll do another webinar next week. We're going to rotate them every 3 weeks. I don't even remember what it's going to be next week. I think it's the nutritional line. What did I do? I did why. Here's the comp plan. We'll do the products next week. So you can go to Mechanic to Millionaire on YouTube, and you'll see the why. This one will be loaded up there later tonight. All right, you guys. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.